Settle in your soul. Grace, power in the place. Grace and progress, say it. Grace, power in the place. Grace and progress, say it. Grace and progress, say it. Grace and progress.
So, starting off right here is this thing called the resistance of the plate. Y'all ever heard that term before?
No.
So if you're in the promo video, you might have saw these ladies cutting these vegetables up in that promo video. So the resistance of the plate is resisting the foods that you know are damaging to your body, especially to our community. So there's this thing called nutritional redlining. It's a systemic barrier of Black longevity. So if you notice in a lot of our communities, the disease, diabetes and cancer, different things, a lot of it is attributed to what we eat. And our eating habits have gotten a lot better, I would say, over the last 50 years. But and I take it back, it was better up until the 1990s. So you would say like the past, what would you say, 20 some years? What's that, 20, 30 years, where the food has been really bad with a lot of the pesticides and things of that nature. And I want to toss it to this little video right quick, get y'all an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes down to the food. Stand by for that. And it's funny how we can, I don't know how you want to say it, we can see different things and
Plan the
say,
plan.
what's that?
Plan the plan, but you
Yeah,
can't plan the
you
results.
can't. And maybe some of these things will help us and we can get better at it. And not only that, make it better for our kids, better for our, just everybody in our family to where we can do better. But also, what me and Greg were talking about, in the green room was that, he was giving a very good reasons why we're in the position we're in. My argument is why not put pressure on these stores that can put stores right in our neighborhoods? And it's all these myths and narratives of why they don't. Crime, they say people aren't going to buy it, all these things, but everyone buys groceries. Why not give them the fresh vegetables, the fresh fruits? Change their mindset. If people are used to doing these things, change their mindset. I want to toss this video to you right quick and let me know what y'all think.
Talking about systems that have been in place to keep people poor and sick, and we don't have those conversations.
Meet Karen Washington, a pioneer in the urban farm movement, who also coined the term food apartheid.
Yes, I coined that term. I don't care. People like it, they don't like it, I don't care. But it gives people the opportunity to start having those conversations.
Can you talk a little bit about why it was so important for you to kind of come up with a new terminology to frame this conversation?
So when I heard the term food desert, I just couldn't understand why they were talking about a location where there's limited access to food. We got food. No one is talking about the junk food we have, the processed food, the fast food. They're not talking about the unhealthy food that we have, but yet they're classifying that we live in a food desert. I wanted people to peel away the food system and looking at through the lens of race, through the lens of land, to the lens of wealth. We are in the 21st century, and people know the haves and have-nots. We know we have high incidence of diabetes, heart disease, obesity, but yet you victimize the poorest people, saying that they can control and change if they give up soda and drink water, instead of saying, well, wait a second. No. Hunger and poverty is man-made. Food desert does not allow you to have that conversation.
Right.
But food apartheid does.
I can only imagine the first time you used that term in a public space, like what the reaction must have been.
Yes, eyes popped open.
Yeah.
Black folks were saying, yeah. Everybody else was saying, ooh.
And where we went with that was the businesses are that may want to put their stores into Black neighborhoods are scared by the insurance companies, by law enforcement. You don't want to put it in there, or we're going to have to charge you a higher premium if you put it in this neighborhood over here, or we can give you a break if you put it over this way. there's a way that society has fell into this trap of capitalism that says I have to be able to make money. It does not do me any good to create a relationship with the community. But when you bring peace to the community, it helps the relationship with your business. So, what do you want to do? EB, how do you handle that?
Something that's been dear to my heart. I've been fighting on this since college, right? The the supermarket, my father family spent 40 years in the business of selling food and hot food in grocery stores. So I've always wondered why those things and so many disparities in the black neighborhoods when it comes to grocery stores. When I was growing up, there wasn't a lot of dollar stores and things like that. I guess in the last 20 years, we saw a lot of that. Um, it's amazing to me, and it's still just amazing. I remember it was a store up the street, and people would bypass our store to go up there because in their mind they got better deals. What they didn't understand is we actually had to pay higher prices for the products we were getting. So we had to pay, we're only making 40 cents at the most on products, right? So that covers all of the costs and everything. So I started to say there's a lot of things that involves all of that, right? There's a store here recently, I won't say the name, that moved out of the neighborhood. Council people were fighting for it for a long, long time to stay, even though they had announced them leaving. But they finally had to come out and say we lost $1 billion a year just in internal theft. So there's a lot of stuff baked into why they don't have stores here. Some of them are legitimate, some of them are not. I with a demographic that spends $1.6 trillion annually a year, which is 9% of what the economy takes in, to me should have some say so in what they have to offer the communities. Like I said, there's a lot baked in here. There's some things that we should do as people, as a group of people, to help them make it easier for us. And you talked about incentivizing um, stores to come here. Well, where they gonna put them at? You got a dollar store on one side, a convenience store on the other side, and there's no land for them to build a grocery store. So
Mhm.
um,
Yeah,
I
you're
think
right.
some of the things that, yeah, hello.
No, I said, yeah,
So,
you're
so,
right.
yeah, so some of the things that we should be doing is advocating for our councilmen to redo urban areas and redevelopment. So it's really we're at a stage to me that is not just a black problem. 1 in 5 black people are struggling with hunger. 1 in 10 white people are struggling with hunger. So we all have the same problem.
Hmm.
I believe that this is no longer a minority problem, but all of the things that affect having grocery stores in every neighborhood, we should be trying to figure out what method works for everybody, not just one particular demographic.
Well, I don't like targeting demographics. I like uh, targeting specific neighborhoods. I like creating the relationships and conversations in different areas to solve that problem because every place in the United States isn't the same. And when you start trying to make things a cookie cutter, the blueprint should be more than just drawings on a paper that we're going to put here and here and here. It should be the effort to engage on a spiritual level, communication. What are the needs of the community? Identifying that need, and then addressing, starting with health. And when you get to dealing with that health, that's where that food comes in, where you talk about what's available to eat. We come up with fresh vegetables. There were some grocery stores that I would not that I would get vegetables that wouldn't last a week. And then there's some that I would get, but what we were never realized in our American psyche was the worldwide interaction for farming because it's wintertime here, it's summertime and harvest down there. And our fruits, because of the shipping costs and stuff, if you mess with the shipping costs, you mess with the price of vegetables that and fruits that you get out of season. You know, it used to be uh, a run on Bing cherries and the white cherries that we got from the west coast up in Washington and Oregon, and they were really good. But then we could get them also at a different time of year at pretty much the same price, but they were coming from another country.
Yeah.
And so now we have this situation where we're messing with every supply chain in this country. And it's still the healing is only going to start with relationships. It starts with identifying the people and having a conversation with them. And people are I don't like to treat people stupid.
Yeah.
You know what you know. Sometimes you go over things with a minimum of concern. You might skip some words or put in something that you think is hard, but we have to learn how to lament with each other and quit pointing fingers and placing blame.
Mhm.
But I digress. I'm step off my
No,
soapbox. Y'all
that
know
was
who
good.
I am.
Hold
That
it,
was